I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
I say Jose Caballero's their shortstop in the playoffs. And here's why. I've seen multiple versions of this, and I think that there's two that are really parallel, one in particular. Gary Sanchez came up with great fanfare and great success early. But then the Yankees got him, and he went from being a very good hitter to a guy who was trying to pull in the air everything. And he still had the homers, but the strikeouts skyrocketed towards 30%. The batting average dropped to 200 or less, and that went on. Defensively, everything, the Yankees kept telling us, he's an above average catcher. You guys are wrong. Right. We're watching the games. Your opponents are telling us he's not an above average catcher. Right? Like, can he frame? Is he doing a thing you particularly like? Maybe. But, like, he's a problem behind the plate. And those last 3 or 4 years, whatever, Boone kept saying, he's our catcher. And then in 2020, they played 7 playoff games, and Kyle Higashioka started 5. In 2021, they played 1 playoff game. And again, during the regular season, Sanchez played twice as often as Higashioka. Like 100 games to 50.
But Higashioka caught a lot of the Garrett Cole games during those 2 years, which is why it was so key for these wild card games, which you're mentioning.
And then the next year in the wild card game, Higashioka started and not Sanchez. So I think you could, and the one other one that's somewhat similar is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. He's our shortstop, and then they got to the playoffs, and he didn't start every game. There was some Oswaldo Peraza. I think there was an Oswald Cabrera thrown in there. And in some ways, like, we're watching this. And Cabrera has started like 3 or 4 games at shortstop. And when you watch Caballero has played 3 or 4 games at shortstop. And when you watch him play shortstop, you're like, oh, that's right. That's the natural movements of a shortstop. That's the easy arm of a shortstop throwing to first base where he's just, and it's easy. Like I always say, like, watch Anthony Volpe play. It's like watching the Tasmanian Devil play shortstop. There's hectic and the amount of torque that's needed to get a throw off. And watch, I always say, blessing, New York. I watch probably almost every inning the Mets and Yankees play. Watch the smoothness of Francisco Lindor. The ball finds the pocket on Francisco Lindor. It's a natural thing. Watch how many balls hit the pocket of Anthony Volpe as opposed to here or too high in the pocket. Like, he's not a comfortable player right now. If he's ever going to be again, I don't know. But, like, you can't try to win a championship where every ground ball to shortstop is this. You've already made this decision in left field where you can't play where every fly ball to left field is this with Dominguez.
Yeah.
That decision, now a part of it is bats, right? Grisham and Bellinger's bats have earned the right into the everyday lineup. But it's like, the other day I'm watching Dominguez play left field. It's a ball to the wall that he should probably get to the wall and catch. He doesn't. And then he stands at the wall and watches it ricochet 40 feet, 50 feet beyond him. Like, he still doesn't know how to play.
Yeah.
And I just feel like you owe it to your team if you're the manager, the infrastructure. I know if Caballero plays more, we'll see things we don't like, right? We've already seen him get thrown out of 2 games you can't get thrown out of, right? Like, you're a part-time player. You're starting today for a very specific reason. Lefty on the mound, probably. We're going to start you here, but then we're going to move you to right field because we don't want Stanton or Judge in right field today. And you've allowed yourself to get thrown out of 2 games. Here's a guy who isn't even arbitration eligible until this offseason, and he's already been traded twice. And he's very talented. You could see how talented he is. So why have 2 organizations given up on him? You start to see a little of it, right, with those 2 ejections. So I think the more Caballero plays, the more we might say, But in the short term, when the ball's hit to him at shortstop, you're not holding your breath. Is he a great offensive player? He is not. But this version of him is so much better than Volpe, and especially what Volpe used to do well, steal some bases, is no longer part of his thing. So when Caballero's on first base, if they're getting on first base equally, and they're not, like Caballero's batting average and on-base percentage is better, Caballero's a real threat. And I just don't know how you're going to get to the biggest games, and it's not going to be Kyle Higashioka and Gary Sanchez where you look at it and say, now, the one thing you might be able to say is Volpe was terrific in the postseason last year.
He was.
He was terrific. He really used right field. And again, I'll always feel like when Gary Sanchez was an all-field hitter, CC Sabathia, I want to say it was me, CC Sabathia, and A-Rod, but it was at least CC.
Name dropping over here.
In the clubhouse when they were all playing,
Yeah.
like would have been spring of 18 maybe, something like that. Was A-Rod still on the team in the spring of 18? I think
Was he?
so.
Was he on the 17 roster?
No.
When they went to LCS?
No. So could he have been visiting? Anyway, it was at
Yeah,
least CC. So, like, kind of did the, who do you think's the best hitter on the team? And I went, this guy goes, Sanchez is the best hitter on the team.
He was incredible
Says,
that year.
he said, for Judge's on the team.
I know, but
Right.
Gary went all fields,
All
remember?
fields.
Yeah.
And then he stopped.
Yeah.
And I still feel like Volpe swinging for power on every pitch. I get what the Yankees are doing, trying to like win as a 3-point shooting team, as a home run team. But you can't cookie cutter everybody.
Yeah.
And he will never hit enough homers to justify the number of batted bats that are in there. Like, what would be that number? It's like Stanton, you live with every once in a while, he's going to miss the ball by 3 feet. Well, he's got 450 freaking homers, right? He won an MVP. I just feel like Volpe's fix, I believe, is as a all fields hitting second baseman, where his arm is less of an issue than whatever this is.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like it's good enough. And I can't believe they're going to get to October 1st and play for everything and literally get into a spot where every time the ball's hit to the shortstop, they say, we don't know.
Yeah, because let's say they do make a wild card, right?
Yeah.
And they don't win the division. You got 3 games set.
Yeah.
And you have 3 games to prove that you are a better baseball team. And like you said,
I
Joel,
wrote about this for nypost.com, Sports Plus tomorrow. It's all my thoughts on why I think that they'll end up
it's
doing
going to be a fascinating decision with Aaron Boone. And
I'm sure he'll let us deep into that decision.
This won't be just an Aaron Boone decision. This has to be an organizational decision, right?
Yeah. Though
Because you're signaling to the whole world, we don't trust this guy to even win a playoff game for us right now.
But you signaled it with Gary Sanchez, and you signaled it with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
But then you're making an asset completely.
And by the way, you traded Gary Sanchez for Isaiah.
That's what I'm saying, though. But you're legitimately you're telling this asset's now completely worth. It's not worth for our.
You've already done it. Have you done that with Dominguez?
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's still young. He's still very young. You hope that he's
still young. He's 24.
He's gotten more plate appearances than anyone else in baseball to prove himself here, and he has shown that he is not a capable offensive player.
Well, if he's not a capable offensive player and he's not a capable defensive player, then in the short term, before you try to fix him, you got to get him off the field.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you got to get him off the field, and I think that it reminds me very much of Sanchez and Higashioka.